Told him I ain't selling it for nothing less than lavish.
Nah, come on, man.
Draco made a hit with this one.
Yeah, and Jazzy had no chill with this hun floating. I'm hoping this no breaks in this run potent. I'm chosen, this is not a diss song, the token. Yo, stick to the stuff you know. How y'all doing, y'all? Not sure exactly why that song popped up in my head, but I am high-key tired. Like, it's 3 a.m. The energies are definitely shifting me. Sorry if it's a little, I wasn't crying. Actually, I was crying. I was watching this show on Netflix called Made, and it had me crying, but I also just got a little wet-eyed because I yawned before. And it's because it's 3 a.m. I'm usually not up at these times, but like I mentioned earlier, I just been shifting. You know, definitely still been resting, definitely still been eating, definitely still been progressive, but shifting and just what is the norm in my schedule, and also in just like my routines. I'm also incorporating more intent behind almost everything that I do, because I feel like now is the time to really create and know exactly what direction I want to go in, because there's so many transitions, there's so many things, and I apologize for being natural with it, but as I'm communicating, I'm feeling it in my ears and also around like this area, because not saying I wasn't vocalizing, but I guess I just have been a little bit more to myself and just in my head. Still been speaking my mind though. I've had a lot of powerful shifts today, and endings and also new beginnings, creating up just more alignment and transitional phases that lead towards what it is that I know is best for me or better than what's here now. So I just wanted to, before I get into these little oracle cards today, I just wanted to highlight this powerful time and highlight the fact that I pull myself out of the comfort of my bed and just tradition to do something different and be consistent on something that matters simply to me. I feel like I'm humbled and honored to be able to have something to say, something that at this point in my life motivates me to continue to express myself and project my mindset. So I don't care what time it is. Sometimes I feel like it's inevitable for me to express these days, and day you'll continue to see like more and more transition and more depth. But we're gonna just use the cards to see exactly what energy we should be touching on today. Like I said, we got the oracle cards today. How y'all day been though, man? My day been good. Sell my car. So we just lost some of the deck. Let's see what's underneath it. So funny, the hummingbird been popping up a lot. It's a sweet paradox of empowering grace. I actually like the way it fell. It just fell out with this on top, and then also just a deck of these cards. So let's look at which one is over here. We pulled this one before. Out of darkness, light is born. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I have to just pause that to see the definition, but what I really capture about it is her eyes and the sacred heart expansion that's going on. And you know, this looks like one of those spiritual guides, just the hand gestures. So shout out to the religious aspects or just the spiritualist aspects behind this connection and this energy. It's definitely giving enlightenment and attunement with the way that the aura is penetrating. But take it as you will. I like this card right here. Never pulled this one, and this one just kind of fell out, so I'll take that as an energy that is definitely meant to be pointed out. And I'm gonna stick with that. I don't feel like I need to do too much. I do feel like what I can take from this is definitely relation. Because obviously you look at this hummingbird and it's not necessarily connected to this tree. I wouldn't see a hummingbird on a tree like that, right? This looks like it's almost in the desert. So when I see that, I look at the hummingbird as a symbolism of just necessity. Hummingbirds are actually smaller than I thought, but it's very interesting how whenever they're painted more exaggerated, because I feel like that's just more of a realization of how needed they are. Hummingbirds are, I don't know if they're rare or not, but I would just say that all energies represent something. And when I think about the hummingbird, for me personally, I think about true freedom. I think about beauty. I think about obviously like a one of a kind type of a signature, and that's just on a physical aspect. I want to see what this card is really talking about because they're the sweet paradox of empowering grace. And if y'all know, like when I first started off this year, we would do a lot of paintings, and one of the paintings that I did, I just put a word and it was grace. And then the more I look at it, it has money, it has a heart, it has a sunrise or a sunset. It's like water with like the sun. In my head, I would say that's a sunset. And then the butterfly, which is transformation. But I would say a butterfly is equivalent to the same signature of a hummingbird, and it's not necessarily for the sake of that they go through a similar journey, but just the energy of freedom and expansion, but also recognition. So we're gonna go ahead and just look into that and see exactly what energy hitting for. It says, when the mind says no, but the heart leaps with joy, we are ripe for a transmission of empowering grace. When the mind says no, but the heart leaps with joy, we are ripe for a transmission of empowering grace. The sweet paradox is the most impossible the situation appears to be, the more we are supported through grace, and our divine success manifests swift and complete. Let the faith of the heart overcome doubt. Allow your mind to be filled with wonder at the unlimited power of the divine, and you shall bear witness to sacred manifestation. I even love that, just reading that, it gave me the validation that, yeah, this means freedom, but I didn't know exactly how to tie that into it because I'm always particular about what I mention, but I'm so honored to be able to be here in this time and say this, and I'm going to say it like, the job that's been supplying me, the funds that, I told you gonna make my money here, and I'm no longer at that job, and it was quite unexpected. Like, I know that was something I had to transition out of, but the way that it happened was so unexpected. But my heart, like, I love when they say, yeah, it's a leap of faith, but your heart is filled. That's a transmission that was necessarily to bring in success and manifestation, and I believe that. The fact that I already have an opportunity to have more freedom, more money, and just more privacy, like more ability for me to be taking advantage of my talents, regardless of how that look, is better to have that opportunity and then to be able to transition in a way that even if it was unexpected, I'm prepared, and I feel like it was actually very much more divine than I may have imagined. It just made me feel so grateful to know that clarity will always be present, and to know that as long as this intuition that is in tune with self the eyes are closed, that guidance, all of this correlation of this matrix projection, that's divine spirit. These are all shit. If you want to really think about it, this be all the angels out here really trying to make sure you stay divine on your path and guided towards positivity. So I needed that reassurance that, the successful route is not always the easiest. The successful route comes with a lot of sacrifice and a lot of belief in self. A lot of times, the only difference between someone that's like bipolar or schizophrenic to a certain extent is a crazy person willing to be consistent and productive in what they believe and building something that they could capitalize with. Because I know a lot of rich people that are crazy as hell still, and they on pills, the same pills that someone that would be psychotic are on. So it's just about moderation. It's about how you choose to see your life and what you feel is purposeful in your life, and continuing to infiltrate that, because I feel like if you don't use it, you will lose it. Not saying that you will lose insight, but you will lose the touch of being connected to divine, and just having those little calls to where if you're tired, you still feel like with me, for example, I still feel inspired to at least express these energies that I'm going through, because I quit my job today. And yes, there's a couple hours in between it, but this is today. Tomorrow, something else may happen. And like I said, I'm not worried, because I feel like this is just one big step into this new transformation, which is, I know at this point it's going to be successful. There's no other way for it to go. But not to talk y'all block off, I just wanted to reiterate how it's important to be consistent and build something, however that looks for you. Just making sure that you set yourself up to believe in you and to believe in God. And I definitely love this card, y'all. And with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all go. It's so funny because something about this is reminding me of Joshua Tree to a certain extent. And I mentioned Joshua Tree. It was literally right before like the show that I was talking about. I mean, the show that I was watching made. They spoke about Joshua Tree literally right before I ended the thing, and I actually happened to experience Joshua Tree. So it's just funny for that card to even pop up because that's just extra recognition, and that's why I use these cards. Like, I want to start saying this in my videos, but maybe I don't. But I'm not a tarot reader. But then again, like, I remember one point in my life I said I'm not a rapper, and I had to reconsider and say I'm a lyricist because I know I don't align necessarily with the label. But there are elements where I go up and I be rapping, like straight up rapping. So what do you call that? But beyond that, like, it's good to get this reinforcement and knowing that those correlations, which is things that happen, are always divine, and just trusting in that. I have complete faith in my journey, and I know that God and just my own intuition will never lead me astray. It's all connected, and I definitely tap into that with just little things like in tuning with these cards a little bit, y'all. I'm not trying to make y'all feel like y'all have to have a deck of cards, but just tapping into these energy vibrations that these cards help me bring out is what my channel is about. So I'm gonna go ahead and relax. My body is definitely feeling all the work that I was doing last week, so I definitely gonna use tomorrow to recoup. But hopefully when I come back tomorrow, I'm with higher energy because y'all know I love to meet y'all with an energy that's gonna get y'all out of bed. But right now it's time to go. So I see y'all. Actually, y'all might see me when it's time to wake up. So maybe I should be trying to help y'all get out of bed. But regardless, I'm gonna be there with this insight. So hopefully it's inspiring. Beyond anything, this is a good time for creating and cultivating your dreams. So that's another thing that keeps me motivated and knowing that I have things to continue to create. So, manifesting is just believing. And we do a lot of that out here. So with that said, peace. See ya tomorrow.